Hi Janice, nice to meet you. Could you tell us, how about the redevelopment pretty much from the beginning to end and how you've been involved and, what the future holds for the National Army Museum?
Okay, well, this is the new National Army Museum.
Yeah.
We've been working on this building for the last 3 years. We've actually been planning and developing the work for the last 6 years. The reason we did it was because the museum was outdated. It was built in 1971. Some of the displays were quite old, but more to the point, it didn't have the facilities that modern day 21st century museums should have.
Yeah.
And our visitors told us, though, they liked what we did, they enjoyed our exhibitions, they hated our building. It was dark and it was dingy, you couldn't find your way around it, and you started at the bottom of the stairs in 1640 and you slogged your way up to the top in 2010, and you were completely exhausted and you just needed to go home and put your feet up. So having found that from our visitors, we spent a lot of time and effort working out how to turn a building which frankly looked like an NCP car park to a very attractive building that the public would want to come to.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we also took on board their feedback about what kind of things they were interested to know, and why they would come to a museum about the British Army. Because we understand that it's not everybody's first cup of tea.
Yeah.
But actually, the whole point is that the British Army's been around since 1640. It has impacted British society today. It's impacted the world today. And you, as a member of British society, actually vote for it through Parliament. You pay for it. And you decide whether it goes to war or not. So it's actually a very important thing for people to be aware of. So having talked to our public, they said they wanted fun. They wanted interactivity, they wanted stories, and what they really wanted to know was what it feels like to be a soldier and what it feels like to fight. And that's quite a tall order. So what we've done is we've gone back to first principles. We've got fantastic collections here, amazing collections from all around the world. We're also the Museum of the Indian Army for 3.5 centuries before partition in 1947.
Yeah.
So we've got fantastic collections, and we've used those collections, we've added to them, we've bought on eBay even, but we've also collected from soldiers oral histories, materials, stories, and we've put them together in a way that we think is interesting to modern day audiences. So one of our galleries is about being a soldier, what it was like to be a soldier in the 17th century, what it's like to be a soldier today.
Yeah.
One is about how the army has developed. One is about what it's like to fight in the battle gallery. It's changed enormously, from horse and musket to drones today. The other gallery looks at society and the impact the army has had on society. Even the language we use, the stories we tell, the plays we go to, the films, it's all been impacted. The toys children play with are impacted by the army.
Yeah.
And similarly, society has impacted on the army. So it's a relationship. You see the army on the streets. At some points in history, they've been very popular. Other times, they've not been quite so popular. It's a relationship that goes across time. And then in Insight, we look at some of those amazing collections we've got from all over the world. We've also got better visitor facilities. We've got a fantastic cafe restaurant now, 154 seats.
Good toilets?
Toilets on every floor. Now, I know that's not a big thing, but when we came here, we had 4 toilets. It had 250,000 visitors, and actually, we couldn't physically get everybody in the building. It hadn't been built for 250,000 people. So by redeveloping this building, we've not only made it light and airy, but we've actually managed to squeeze more. By opening it up and building a small extension, we've now got just as much display space as we had before, but we've got all the public facilities that we didn't have. So we've got proper educational facilities for school children. We've got a decent cafe. We've got a nice Templar Study Centre where people can do research. You can research your family history here. We've got a fantastic play base for small children, 0 to 7, where they can pretend they're on an army camp base and they can go to the post office and the cookhouse and all of these kind of things. And there's places to sit down and rest. It's a good family day out, and that's what we've done.